So you're thinking about downsizing. Great. But then maybe you're looking around the house and thinking, ugh, I gotta start packing. Oh God, all of these rooms in this giant house that I have are filled with stuff. How do I even start going through all of this stuff? Does it have monetary value? Does it have sentimental value? Is it just junk now? Is it something that really no one's even going to enjoy? Or, oh, maybe it's worth a fortune. Maybe you're sitting on a gold mine for something. These kind of things, I think a lot of seniors and people moving, but a lot of seniors really recognize when they start thinking about downsizing and paring things down. I'm meeting with Libby Wood of Senior Settlers. They serve the entire area senior move management company. They come in, they help you from A to Z, getting everything packed up, getting everything organized, getting everything either donated, taken to a dumpster, sold if you need to be connected with the right people to help sell it. I mean, they really help facilitate all of the physical, tangible possessions that you might need from A to Z when you're downsizing. So relax, enjoy Libby and I talking today about some of the most common things that she deals with as a senior move manager. Because remember, thinking about downsizing your house can seem really overwhelming, but breaking it down into smaller pieces and more manageable projects is really just such a great way to start. And Libby and her team really are professionals. They know how to do that. So thanks for joining me. Sit back, relax, and listen to Libby and I chat today. I'm Andrea West. I've been a realtor since 2010. I'm a senior real estate specialist. To become a senior real estate specialist, I went through additional education and training with the National Association of Realtors to earn the designation. So I work with buyers and sellers of all ages, but when I work with seniors and their family members, I have a higher level of understanding and additional resources that I bring to the table. So I help take a little bit of that additional stress out of a big move. So whether you're a senior or a loved one or just somebody looking to buy or sell real estate, I'd love to talk with you. My contact information is below. There's a QR code in my banner if you want to book a Zoom or phone call with me. You can give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email anytime. Welcome back. I'm Andrea West with Seniors in Real Estate. I have been a realtor since 2010 and a senior real estate specialist. Today I'm being joined by Libby Wood with Senior Settlers. Tell me a little bit about you and your company.
Senior Settlers is a senior move management company. We help people get organized, we help them move, we help them get settled. Our tagline is we make tough transitions trouble-free.
I like that. That's good. Now, seniors, tough transitions. It sounds like most folks you work with are seniors, right?
Probably most, yes, definitely most of them are, but we also work with anybody that needs a little extra help, like a family where like both parents work, got little kids, they got full-time jobs, they're moving, they need help. So things like that.
That's good.
We had a client who was in his 40s, but he had MS. He physically had some issues, so he needed our help. Things like that.
Okay, great. Mm-hmm. Great. And now, when you meet with a client or they reach out to you, generally speaking, how far out are they from the actual moving?
Usually a couple of months.
Okay.
And we do it. They reach out. I talk to them on the phone. Then we go and do in-person consultation. So we go out and we look at the stuff. We talk to them about project issues, the concerns, the timelines, the constraints, all that kind of thing. And then we write a proposal that outlines the timelines, costs, the materials, everything to be involved in the project. And then once we reach agreement on that, we sign a service agreement, we take a retainer, and schedule the project.
Great.
So it can go quickly, but it's really much easier if we do it over a period of time. So mostly they call us a month or two in advance, and that works the best.
And no, you do save what you can save, though, right?
We do. If anything could have been donated to us.
Got it.
Yeah. She was not really interested in selling anything.
Right.
So
okay.
Yeah, we did quite a bit of donation from her.
Got
but
it.
Yeah, there was 10 tons that went.
That's
unfortunately to landfill.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sometimes it
happens.
happens.
We do. In most cases, we can save most of the stuff. So we have shoes that we work with quite a lot, and
Great.
So it's fairly rare that much goes to either take them to consignment or auction or charity. Mostly charity. Most stuff goes to charity.
Wow,
Which is great.
And that's so great because I would think that if it was my stuff, I would want to know it's going to a home.
Exactly.
Someone's loving it.
Yeah. So we do take quite a lot to charity.
Oh, that's great.
And we have all kinds of different charity resources, from Make It Home, Salvation Army, Goodwill, foster care, just we have a whole list.
People who really need it.
Better women shelters.
That's great. And I know we've talked before about this, and it sounds like many people are open to giving things away, doing charities, but some folks, they decide to go the storage route. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah, they do.
Now, what's your 2 cents on storage? I've heard some mixed reviews.
Well, if you have an end date, like we had a client that put stuff in storage and then they had a plan for dealing with it after 6 months, because they had things they needed to do before they could deal with it. So then it makes sense because you put in there, you know what you're going to do with it when it comes out and you have a plan. That makes sense. To just put it in there because you don't know what to do with it, it'd be there a really long time.
Yeah. And I think, ripping the Band-Aid off, so to speak.
Yeah.
We were talking before, I had a client last year who, she had a 3-bedroom house and she was looking to downsize, and she moved into a community, and she really spent a few extra months doing it herself and really getting in there and going through the boxes, going through the papers, going through all of her stuff. And she had widowed a few years before, so she was going through some of her husband's stuff.
Yeah.
But by the time she got to her community, it was done.
Yeah.
And it wasn't looming over her. And she, we keep in touch. She told me, she's like, I'm so happy I did. Because she just felt free. She was enjoying life and just felt so much better in her space.
Yeah.
And not paying for storage and thinking about it,
exactly.
either.
Well, and I often tell my clients about my own mom. My mom decided when she turned 90, she decided it was time she was going to move into senior community. She made that decision, so that was it. So she was in San Diego, so I went down to San Diego, spent, I guess it was about a month that I spent with her, and dealt with the dining room table that seated 12.
Wow.
And all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it was super hard. I mean,
Of course.
it was hard to let go, but she did. And so then moved her into a senior community. And then about 6 months before Mom passed away, she told my sister. She told my sister.
This will be good.
Yeah. She said, Libby was right. She said,
No wonder she didn't tell you.
that's right. She didn't want to tell me I was right. But she said, my apartment is comfortable. I have the right amount of furniture. I like the way it's organized. It works well for me. It looks pretty. All my friends tried to bring all the furniture with them, and you can't even, you have to slide past their furniture, and it doesn't work. It doesn't look good. It's not. So it does make sense to think about your life is going to be like going forward, not what it was looking back. So what am I going to need for life now, as opposed to what did I use that for in the past?
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of
And
sense.
it was hard for Mom. It's hard for our clients, but
Hard for anyone.
it's hard for anyone. Yeah. And the future life is scary because you don't really know what's going to happen. But to think about it and plan for it makes the most sense.
And I mean, it unless it's a family heirloom, unless it's a keepsake, it's just stuff.
It's just stuff.
It's just stuff.
Yeah.
And you wrote a book, didn't
I
you?
did. I wrote a book about this.
Yeah. Was it the Tyranny of Stuff? Was that what it was called?
Home of Brave, or How to Overthrow the Tyranny of Stuff.
That was it.
Yeah, because it does take bravery
Yes.
to deal with this stuff. You've got to be brave. You got to dive in there and say, this is what I need to do. I need to make it happen. Yeah.
Well, and our culture doesn't foster that.
No.
We're all consumerism, getting sales and 2-for-1s and buy one, get one. And I mean, my mom would do that all the time. She'd call me and say, hey, honey, I got you a toaster. I said, I have a toaster, Mom. I don't need a toaster. So, but there was one on sale. And before I knew it, I had 2 toasters. What do you... I didn't need 2 toasters. And in her whole house like that. Just boxes of extra things that... I said, Mom, who needs this? She said, I don't know. Someone might.
Yeah. Someone might.
Someone might.
And somebody shopping at Salvation Army or Goodwill or something.
They might. Well, but when she got sick, I think we talked, we had to clear out the house. She had boxes lining the walkways. Her table, you couldn't get to it. You couldn't sit on most of the couches. There was like one seat for my dad and one chair. And, I said, Mom, you can't go back home that way. It's a fire hazard. It's a safety hazard. You're going to fall. You're going to get hurt. And my mom and dad needed 24-hour care at that point. The caregivers got to get in and out of the house. So
yeah, we have been brought in when caregiver organizations will call us and say, we can't get our caregivers in there.
Wow.
They refuse to go in because it's too dangerous for them.
Right.
So,
and then it's of course dangerous for the client too.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And I mean, it sounds to me like you work a lot with people who've had falls, who've had accidents.
Yes.
And then now you have to clear that out. And I think a lot of people, if I may say, don't recognize the signs of, too much stuff. This is a safety hazard. This is a health hazard, because no one wants to admit you're needing to change your lifestyle. And stairs. That's a big one.
Stairs is a huge one. There's I don't know what percentage, but there's a large percentage of our clients who move because of stairs.
Yeah. So it's not even just the space; it's the function of the house.
Yeah, just can't go up and down the stairs anymore.
Right.
We've had a lot of clients where the whole second floor is just not used anymore.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. That's hard. It's heartbreaking too.
And the job I was working on earlier today,
Well,
was because of a fall.
yeah.
Yeah. And the tragedy of that kind of situation, if there is a fall, and they go to the hospital, then they go to skilled nursing, and they're not able to go back home.
Yeah.
Well, they can't go home, then they lose agency. They can no longer be the ones to say, I want to take that chair and not that chair. Somebody else has got to decide for them. Sometimes it's us. I'd rather not be that person. I'd really rather work with somebody who can make those decisions on their own.
Right.
And tell us, I'd like to have that chair. I want to bring that, whatever, whatever it is.
And you offer free consultations.
We do.
Right?
So that's how we start out every project, to do a consultation. There's 3 or 4 of us who can do the consultation. So we'll come out, we'll sit with you, we'll talk about the project, the constraints, the issues, the problems, whatever, and then come up with a proposal. And the proposal lays out the timeline, the costs, all that, the materials we'll need.
Now you work with the senior, but you also work with the family members, right?
Sometimes depends. If they have family, some of them don't do, some of them don't do.
Right.
And often, if like in a lot of cases, one of the children will have our attorney or whatever, so we'll work with those children.
That's good.
They're grown people.
They're grown, but yes.
Children, right? You know what I mean.
I do.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. Why do people reach out to you? Why not do it themselves? Why not, hire another company?
Mostly the reason we hear most often is they're overwhelmed.
Okay.
Overwhelmed. That is the word that we hear every time.
That makes sense.
They're overwhelmed and just need help.
Any advice for anyone thinking about making that move, downsizing or decluttering, or?
I'd say think about it early before you need it.
Okay.
So you've got a plan in place. I'll mention again the woman who lived at the Redwoods.
Mhm.
We helped her move in there, and then when she passed away, she had already given us a deposit for her final clear out. So
Wow.
she was super organized. She had everything planned, even for after her death. It was amazing and beautiful. And her son was super grateful that had happened. So
It's such a great gift to the family,
it's a gift
too.
to the family. So that's an extreme situation. She
Right.
was a super organized person. But in general, if you can think about it ahead of time, realizing you're probably going to need something on the road, and about it and explore the options.
That's smart.
Yeah.
That's smart. Well, because you don't want to wait until the moment of crisis to have to think about it.
Yeah, it's really better to think about it.
That's good. Great. Well, Libby, thank you so much for joining me today.
Sure.
And,
Absolutely.
free consultations, if you want to
Anytime.
reach out to Libby, great.
Yep.
Her contact information is below, as is mine. Consultations, buying or selling. Again, we both work with seniors, but not exclusively. So if you or your family member is thinking about making a move, reach out to us.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.